Y'all, Traci Braxton specifically left her son Kevin Jr. in charge of everything. And you want to know the tea on why? Because she didn't want her sisters anywhere near her estate. Now before you gasp, let me tell you, looking at how they're acting now, capitalizing on her death without even a hint of shame, Traci might have been onto something. They're out here doing the most, and poor Traci's son is caught right in the middle of this whole mess. Now, let me break down this will situation for you, because baby, it is juicy. Before Traci crossed over, she made everything crystal clear in her will. She put her baby boy, Kevin Surratt Jr., as her personal representative. That means he's the one handling all those funeral expenses and those hefty medical bills from her illness. And honey, Traci was more specific than a bride planning her dream wedding. She wanted just one viewing, cremation, and she even put her foot down about her organizations, Zeta Beta Sari Incorporated and Order of the Eastern Stars, showing up. But wait, there's more tea to sip. Traci made sure Kevin Jr. and Sr. were the ones calling the shots about what she'd wear for the viewing and who could even walk through those doors. And listen to this, Kevin Jr. isn't just handling the small stuff, he's now the executive of everything. When that boy is ready, he'll be running Traci's whole brand and likeness. Now, before you think Sr. got completely left out in the cold, he did get some things, some bank accounts, a diamond ring, and custody of Traci's niece Lauren Braxton's remains. They divided up the real estate and whatever else was left, but Chile, the majority went straight to Kevin Jr. Now here's where this tea starts to boil. People started running their mouths saying Traci changed that will and put her son in charge instead of her husband because, and you might want to sit down for this one, she found out Big Kev gave her HPV from all his extracurricular activities, if you know what I mean. They're saying that might have led to her throat cancer. Chilly, if that's true, Traci knew exactly what she was doing when she wrote that will. But let's talk about these sisters for a minute, because this part of the story had me clutching my pearls. Why didn't Traci leave them anything? Well, allegedly, and this tea is so hot it might burn your tongue, they treated her worse than a stepchild at a family reunion. People who've been watching the show since day one are saying when the Braxtons first hit our screens, it looked like these sisters were getting to know Traci right along with us viewers. Can you imagine having your own sisters act like they just met you at the grocery store? And don't even get me started on how they treated Traci when they visited her. There was this one time, Lord give me strength, when these sisters came to Traci's house, and instead of showing appreciation for the meal she cooked, all they did was nitpick and complain about the food, the disrespect. It's like they were food critics at a 5-star restaurant instead of family at their sister's table. Now, this next part had me ready to throw hands. Kevin Jr. has been going through it since he came back on television. In the very first episode, this poor child revealed he wasn't just dealing with losing his mama, which is already enough to break anybody, but he was also going through a divorce from his wife, Olivia Herron. Talk about when it rains, it pours, and the drama just keeps piling on. Trina was out here having conversations with her husband, Vaughn, about how Big Kev and Little Kev weren't talking as much as you'd expect during their grief period. Then, in the same episode, Chili, hold on to your wig. There was this whole situation while Kevin was talking to the sisters from home. Tamar started running her mouth, speculating that he was dealing with the police. Then Tawanda came back to that couch dropping bombs, saying somebody called the cops about Kevin having a warrant. She thinks someone close to him set him up. The audacity.
Me no. You told me no. You told me no. You told me no. You told me no. When I asked you if Little live in our house, you know what? As a condo, you said no though. But you said no. You told me no. You told me no. I'm not lying. I have no reason to lie to you. Pull your mother. There you go. There you go. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. It was before your mother cancer. Before my wife cancer.
But wait, there's more. In episode 7, Kevin opened up about his divorce from Olivia being the hardest thing he faced all year. Said he was completely blindsided by it. This man tried fighting for his family, but Olivia said he didn't fight hard enough. Then, something scary happened. After a session with the grief counselor, Kevin took a lunch break, and when the production team went to check on him, Jesus take the wheel, they found him unresponsive on the floor. The production team wrote about it saying, and let me quote this exactly because it's important, "After Kevin's grief counseling session, he took a break for lunch with the TV production team. Production hadn't heard from Kevin in a while, and when they went to check on him, they found him unresponsive on the ground. When he finally came to, they had to get Tawanda to check on him. Turns out Kevin Jr. had a seizure, something he started getting after his mama passed away. Can you believe all this mess?"
How close was the Braxtons with Junior before Traci got sick?
20%.
Oh, okay.
Now let's talk about this funeral situation because it is a whole mess. Kevin and Traci's manager went ahead and planned this entire funeral service with viewing and Zoom links, but the family was out here saying this went against everything Traci wanted. They were screaming from the rooftops that Traci specifically said no funeral, no wake, just straight to cremation. But Kevin went ahead anyway, and guess what happened? Not a single one of Traci's sisters or her mother showed up. And if you thought that was disrespectful, hold on to your hat because it gets worse. Traci's own daddy, yes, you heard that right, her father had trouble getting into the funeral because he wasn't on the list. Someone from the church had to recognize him and let him in, and they stuck him in the 4th row like he was some distant cousin. He couldn't even speak about his own daughter. Though Kevin Sr. says that's not how it went down, he claims Traci's father and brother were there and nobody pushed them away. The sisters started painting Kevin Sr. as this terrible husband in the media, but baby, he wasn't having any of it. He came out swinging saying, "I was with my wife more than anybody in this world." He talked about going to every single doctor's appointment, how they discussed funeral plans when she got sick, everything. And now they're treating him like he's some deadbeat who just showed up for the inheritance? The show even had this messy episode where Traci called Tawanda a snake. Yes, her own sister. And there was all this drama about Tawanda's boo trying to get them to work things out in Napa Valley. Then Tamar had the audacity to bring up Kevin's criminal record while he was trying to defend Traci. The nerve of it all, chilly, it got even messier on social media. When Tawanda was watching the episode where Traci went off about Sean always being in the sisters' business, someone asked why Traci got mad at Sean during Trina's wedding. And Tawanda's response? "'Cause she mad because unlike her, I have a real man." The shade of it all.
Absolutely saw the episode. So this is the illegitimate child situation. So I told you earlier, I have a daughter. Mm-hmm. And so at that time, remember I told you earlier also, I used to work a lot. Mm-hmm. So when Traci and them started doing the show, I eased up on work and then I was home more and I was taking care of, like my home. So my grandson used to spend a lot of time with me. My grandson is Zaire from my daughter. So Zaire used to come over the house, and my favorite spot, Sherelle, is Starbucks. So me and him would go to Starbucks, and we would partake in my venti chai, and we had fun. But he was hyper, so he was all over the place. So this girl saw me at Starbucks, and she put it on Twitter. I'm in the Starbucks with a child, and I guess the rumor went from there. So my sister-in-law Tawanda had got with Traci's management team, which the assistant manager, they came up with this thing that I had an illegitimate child, and they put it on the show. But the child was my grandson, Zaire. And so the funny part is, like I was telling Trey, I said, Trey, that's how we ended up going on marriage boot camp. I said, so if you look at it, it looked one way, but it turned into something else because we was able to go on marriage boot camp and work out some of our issues. So it really elevated our marriage. So thank you. Is what I said to that situation.
Now here's where people are divided like the Red Sea. Some folks are saying Kevin Sr. is the villain in this story. But others are saying these sisters are just projecting all their guilt about how they treated Traci onto Senior. They're saying the sisters are turning everyone against him by putting all this drama between him and Junior out there, but won't even let him come on the show to tell his side. Can you believe the nerve? And Chile, let's talk about this Kevin Jr. situation because something in the milk ain't clean. These same sisters who didn't want him at family functions when Traci was alive are now suddenly all about him. People are saying they're just using him for the coins. And honestly, Traci probably saw right through all this mess, and that's exactly why she didn't leave any of them in charge of anything. That footage that started circulating of Kevin Sr. giving Jr. a proper whooping had everybody's blood pressure rising. We don't know what started it, but you could hear Kevin Jr. saying, "You told me no," over and over, while Sr. called him a liar, and this is the part that had everybody ready to throw hands, blamed him for Traci's cancer. And speaking of Sr., he did another interview where he spilled all the tea about his relationship with the Braxtons. He said they didn't like him from day one, and dropped this bomb about how the sisters were the ones who pressured Traci to end her pregnancy and leave the group. He also shared that Kevin Jr. is struggling with alcohol and having a really hard time dealing with his mama not being here anymore. Some people are saying it's straight up disrespectful that the family is out here having all these conversations about Traci without including her husband. I mean, this man was married to her, shared her life, her struggles, her everything. When folks started asking questions, Kevin Sr. hopped on Instagram Live after the show premiered. And while he didn't come right out and say there was bad blood, chili, he was dropping hints like breadcrumbs. This whole situation is messier than a toddler's first birthday party. Are these sisters really just trying to milk Traci's death for all it's worth? Are they using Kevin Jr. for their own gain? Traci must have seen all this coming from a mile away. That's why she kept them all far away from her estate. All I know is this family drama is far from over. And honey, I'll be right here keeping my eyes peeled for every single detail. Because if there's one thing the Braxtons know how to do, it's keep us all on the edge of our seats with this mess. Stay tuned, because this story is definitely to be continued. And that's the complete tea, served piping hot and without any sugarcoating. Lord, this family needs more than just prayer. They need a whole intervention. But we'll just have to wait and see how this whole situation plays out, because something tells me we haven't seen the last of this drama.